Okay, let's just dive right in, shall we? There's this massive question that's probably on your mind, because it's on everyone's mind right now. With AI getting smarter by the day, what's going to happen to our jobs? What's going to happen to, well, us? And yeah, it's a huge source of anxiety. But today, we're going to look at a totally different perspective, one that reframes this whole problem. It's not about an ending, it's about a brand new beginning.
You know, this whole explainer was actually sparked by this question right here. It's so direct, so real. Somebody went to CES, saw the latest robots, and felt that pit in their stomach, that feeling that our role in the world is getting smaller, maybe even vanishing. And I think a lot of us can totally relate to that fear.
So, that's the big question we are tackling. Are we just being replaced? Or is there something else going on here? Something way bigger? Well, according to the source for this explainer, the answer is a definite something else.
The core argument we're about to explore is this. We're not watching the end of human work. No, we are actually witnessing the trigger for our next great evolutionary leap. It's a pretty bold idea, I know, but let's see how it's all broken down.
Okay, check this out. This slide really puts things into perspective. The speaker argues that for, hundreds of thousands of years, humanity slowly completed about 30% of its evolution. But then, and this is the wild part, in just the last 70 years, we've apparently accomplished the other 70% of our growth. The pace is just staggering, and it means we've hit a critical turning point.
So to understand this turning point, you have to look at this kind of conceptual ladder. The idea is that we evolve from an animal state to what's being called a human state. And this human phase, well, that's been our period of super fast growth. But now, that phase is over. The next step isn't optional. It's to become a person. So what's the difference, right? A human is basically a being that's still growing, still driven by some of the same basic instincts as an animal, just, a bit more advanced. But a person is a fully realized being. Their purpose isn't just to grow or survive anymore. It's to truly understand and create. And according to the speaker, humanity hasn't actually produced persons yet.
All right, let's bring this back to our original question about jobs. If we're all supposed to become persons, what in the world does that mean for the work we do every day?
The speaker makes a really sharp distinction here. What we usually call work, he defines as labor. And labor is animal work. It's repetitive, it's physical, it's predictable. Think of an ox plowing a field or someone on an assembly line. This is exactly the kind of stuff that AI and machines are getting so good at taking over.
But the true work of a person is something totally different. It's not labor, it's cultural activity. And this isn't about working harder, it's about thinking deeper. It's the act of researching the very foundations of our world to create a new, a better, a more enlightened way of living for everyone.
So here it is, the big reframe. The anxiety we're all feeling about losing our jobs, it's misplaced. From this perspective, we aren't losing anything. We're being liberated from the drudgery of animal-like labor so that we can finally get started on our real work as persons. Okay, that sounds really nice, right? But what does cultural activity actually mean? Does this mean we're all supposed to become artists or musicians or something? Well, not quite. The argument here is that what we call culture today is mostly just imitation. We paint because other people paint it. We follow certain political systems because that's just what we've always done. We aren't creating a true culture because we've never really stopped to research the fundamental purpose behind any of it. And this isn't just about one or two things. It needs to happen everywhere. Every single pillar of our society, politics, religion, family, business, all of it, was developed during our human growth phase. Now that we're done growing, we need to create a true person culture for all of them.
And this is what that new work really looks like. It's research. It's asking those deep questions, like why do we even have politics? What is its real, ultimate function? Or what is a family really for? And how can we design it to truly benefit everyone? This investigation, that is the cultural activity. Let me give you a concrete example to make this clear. The speaker draws a huge line between faith, which is described as being about dependency, clinging, asking for stuff, and religion. A true religion, in this view, is supposed to be a cultural system that helps lead society forward. The argument is, we have a lot of faith in the world, but we haven't actually created a true religious culture yet.
So, if this is a global project for all of humanity, where does something so massive even start? This leads us to the final and probably the most specific part of this whole vision.
It's proposed that this huge undertaking has a very particular starting point, which is explained with a pretty cool metaphor.
So this whole vision is built around this central image. I want you to imagine all of humanity as one single giant ancient tree. And in this tree metaphor, the branches represent all the different nations of the world, living and expressing themselves. The trunk is our shared humanity, connecting us all. And the roots, the part that grounds the whole thing and brings in nourishment, that part is identified by the speaker as Korea.
The theory goes on to say that during that 70-year global growth spurt we talked about, all the knowledge, all the ideas, the religions, the philosophies from all over the world, all these cultural seeds have flowed down the tree and have now collected in the roots.
And so, this sets up a mission for the roots, a 3-step process. Step 1, research all of that gathered knowledge. Step 2, synthesize it all to create this new, true culture we've been talking about. And finally, step 3, send that new paradigm, that new energy, back up the trunk to nourish the entire tree, all of humanity.
Which brings this entire massive cosmic perspective right back down to you. This way of looking at things transforms the fear of AI from a threat into a call to evolve. It suggests we're finally being freed to do the work we were always meant to do. So the question I want to leave you with is this: as the machines take over our labor, what will be your cultural activity?